What is good, Raider Nation? It's your boy Raider Alex, back with yet another video for you guys. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, let's jump right into the topic of this video. The Las Vegas Raiders will have a new starter in the backfield heading into 2024 after the departure of our 2019 first round pick Josh Jacobs. Now, Josh Jacobs throughout his career in the silver and black was very productive in the backfield, making a huge impact on this offense in his 5 seasons with the Raiders. And in those 5 years, he played in 73 games with 72 total starts, and he rushed for 5,545 rushing yards on 1,305 carries. He had 46 touchdowns while also hauling in 197 receptions for 1,448 yards, approximately 7.4 yards per average. And you know, Josh Jacobs was definitely a fan favorite. A lot of the fans wanted him to stay in the silver and black, ideally retire with the Raiders, but due to financial reasons, we had to go our separate ways. It is what it is. And honestly, I love Josh Jacobs. I love what he did for us, but it really does seem like Josh Jacobs was the one that wanted to leave. And it is what it is at the end of the day. But there's no doubt that Josh Jacobs left some big shoes to fill at the running back spot. And today the topic of this video is going to be our third-year running back, Zamir White. And really the biggest question mark is whether or not Zamir White will be able to step into this role as the lead back, as a traditional bell cow running back. And how well will he be able to produce for us as the full-time starter now? Now, according to PFF, they do not have a lot of confidence in our starting running back, Zamir White, as he is ranked dead last in their rankings, which I will say, definitely take that with a grain of salt. PFF, they're great for certain things, for certain advanced analytics, statistics, stuff of that nature, but at the end of the day, their topics, their takes, when it comes to football matters, a lot of times are just opinion based, just like anybody else is. But I think this does kind of show us that most of the NFL media does expect us to be one of the worst teams when it comes to the running back spot. So really the topic of the discussion will be, how good can Zamir White be for us? Is he currently being slept on? Now, the biggest question mark with this whole situation is the fact that with Zamir White, is just due to the fact that he does not have a lot of tape to go based off of. He has a very limited sample size in the National Football League. But I will say, when he has been out there, especially as the full-time starter last season, he did show some flashes of being a very good running back. And if we go back to last season, Josh Jacobs got hurt, and that left him on the sidelines for the rest of the season. And that's where Zamir White stepped in the final 4 games where the Raiders went 3-1. And he, in my opinion, got the job done in the limited amount of snaps that we saw him out there. And in some games, he looked really damn good out there. During Josh Jacobs' absence, Zamir White seized the opportunity, showcasing his talent, rushing for a total of 397 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, and approximately 4.73 yards per carry. Now, if he can continue that trend, 4.5 yards and up per carry is a very solid average for a running back. And in those games, he looked very good. And one performance that just really impressed me was Zamir White, was his ability to essentially carry this offense in that Week 16 upset victory on Christmas Day on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs. We cannot understate that. And mind you, that was against a Kansas City defense with Steve Spagnuolo, one of the best defenses in the league. And he was able to rush for 145 yards on them. And just in general, the Raiders offense struggled to move the ball all day long that night, especially through the air. And that was a performance where our rookie quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, threw for less than 100 yards. But Zamir White in the 4th quarter came up big time for the Raiders. He put this team on his back, and he essentially put this game away for us with 2 huge runs in the 4th quarter that allowed us to run the clock out and get into victory formation. So those type of performances from Zamir White is what gives us a lot of hope for him moving forward next season, and it's definitely a very interesting topic. I do really like Zamir White. I like what he can bring to this offense. He broke off some big runs last season, and I do kind of like the upside he brings to this team. And this is just going to be a huge opportunity for him next season to prove his worth and cement himself as a legit difference maker at the NFL level, and hopefully he will allow us not to miss Josh Jacobs. Now, I do want to be clear about this though. I'm not saying Zamir White is better than Josh Jacobs. I'm not saying he's going to outperform Josh Jacobs and his statistics that he had with the silver and black, because as we mentioned earlier, he did very well for us. And overall, I do think Josh Jacobs is a more talented player than Zamir White. Josh Jacobs has elite vision. He was a hard player to bring down. Now, Zamir White is a different style player, so I'm not saying that he's going to be better than Jacobs straight up, but when you consider the fact that Zamir White is on a rookie deal, it is just going to allow this team a lot more flexibility to build this roster this season and next year as well. And I think the Raiders could definitely get more value with a guy like Zamir White. If Zamir White can continue to produce like he did in those 4 games last season where he started on a rookie deal, to me that's a lot more value compared to a player like Josh Jacobs, who's very likely his best years are behind him. I also kind of like the makeup of this offensive line more than I did last season. I like our young rookie in Jackson Powers-Johnson. I think this offensive line can definitely take a leap forward next season. And also too, I like Zamir White, but we also have to consider the fact that we also have other nice options at the running back position. And in my opinion, we're essentially building a team that is not solely reliant on one player to move the sticks week in and week out in the backfield. There is a chance we run a little bit of a running back by committee style approach. I like Alexander Madison as a backup running back. I'm also super intrigued with Dylan Labe, especially catching out the backfield. So ideally with the scheme that Luke Getsy's building, hopefully the offensive line can take a step forward. We hopefully will build an offense that isn't solely reliant on Zamir White or any one specific player. But to me, there is no doubt that Zamir White will be the #1 option. He will be the starter, and he is the most talented running back on this roster currently. Also, another thing that I noticed with Zamir White is that he did show that he is pretty comfortable catching out the backfield. So if he can continue to build off of this, I think we're going to be fine with Zeus out there at the running back spot. Really, the biggest deciding factor to the success of our run game will be the offensive line. I love Josh Jacobs and everything, but as we saw last season, he wasn't very productive either when the offensive line wasn't gelling as a unit, when they weren't opening holes up front. So I think the Raiders made the right move, saving that money, going with a rookie deal option running back like Zamir White. And instead, I think we needed to invest that money in the offensive line. Now, with the offensive line, we still shall see. It's still really early, and we're just going to see how much they can improve this season. In my opinion, that right tackle position is still a question mark, but we'll just have to see how that pans out. But overall, I am very excited to see the progress of Zamir White, who was grinding hard in the offseason. He is in the lab, getting his body right. I mean, look at what he posted on Instagram not too long ago. The guy looks like an absolute unit. He looks like a tank out there. He's getting in the weight room. He's building muscle. And I think he's going to be ready to have a great season for us. And I am very excited to see what he can do with a full body of work, with a full season under his belt, being that primary guy. But Raider Nation, those are my thoughts and opinions on Zamir White. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think we're going to be fine with Zamir White moving forward? Or do you think we're going to really miss the production that Josh Jacobs gave us throughout the last 5 seasons? Let me know in that comment section down below. But with that being said, Raider Nation, that's all for you guys in today's video. Anybody that's new to the channel, you guys love Raider related content just like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That being said, I will see you guys in the next one.